Great. So I didn't know if the third one got added. Who is that? Army nurse.
So school of medicine, graduate school of medicine.
So the Monroe put that one up.
Okay. Make it easy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Uniformed Services University Class of 2016. So I am Colonel Jerome Buller, the Uniformed Services University Brigade Commander. Before we begin today's ceremony, I have two announcements. First, please take a moment to silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Second, all men in the audience are asked to remove their hats during the national anthem and the prayer. Thank you. Please rise for the academic procession. The placement of this mace on behalf of the University President Charles Rice by Army Staff Sergeant David Manzanares, USU Service Member of the Year, opens the 37th commencement of the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. Today's ceremony recognizes years of graduate study by our students, and for all, it represents the expression of service to our nation, at home and abroad, in military and civilian life. Our students have dedicated themselves to learning to care for those in harm's way and to improve the human condition. We are here today to honor and reward them. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the University Brigade Color Guard and for the national anthem by the President's own, the United States Marine Band, under the direction of Drum Major Master Sergeant Dwayne King, U.S. Marine Corps. Please feel free to join in singing the national anthem. Present the colors. Retire the colors. The University Chaplain, Commander P.K. Ray, United States Navy, will deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, the one in whom we live and move and have our being, we pause to ask your blessing upon our university, its students, faculty, and staff, and upon these who are graduating today, their loved ones, mentors, and all who have been a part of this journey. We honor the sacrifices of our graduating class, the long hours of study and research, and time spent apart from loved ones. And we celebrate with joy their great accomplishments in earning their degrees. We recognize the significance of this day and know also that it is but another step in their journeys as scientists, professionals, and medical leaders. We therefore ask that you would continue to grant them grace, wisdom, and skill as they progress in the practice and study of the health sciences. Amen.
Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Dale Smith, Professor, Department of Military and Emergency Medicine.
Please join me in thanking the University Brigade Color Guard and the United States Marine Band. Let us also thank the Board of Regents, our distinguished guests, faculty, and staff of the Uniformed Services University for the continued support of this next generation of healthcare providers and scholars. At this time, let's pause for a moment of silence to honor the men and women of the military health system who have given their lives in the line of duty and in service to our country. Today's ceremony is the formal recognition of remarkable achievements. In addition to our graduates listed in the program, today we will also honor several students and faculty who have received awards for their significant contributions to medicine, nursing, dentistry, and graduate education. These individual awards are described in detail in your program. Dr. Charles Rice, Uniformed Services University President, will introduce our commencement speaker.
Good morning. It is a privilege to have General John M. Paxton, Jr., Assistant Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, as today's commencement speaker. General Paxton is a native of Pennsylvania, a graduate of Cornell University, where he earned his bachelor's degree and a master's degree in civil engineering. After graduation, he was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. His professional education includes the Marine Corps Amphibious Warfare School, the Army Infantry Officer Advanced Course, and the United States Marine Corps Command and Staff College. He was a fellow in foreign policy studies at the Brookings Institution and a fellow at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He has held a number of challenging staff positions and has commanded at all levels of the Marine Corps. He now serves as the 33rd Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. He and his wife Debbie have been outspoken advocates in supporting research and rehabilitation for those with traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress. Mrs. Paxton, thank you so much for all you have done. General Paxton has been a staunch friend of and advocate for our university. Please join me in welcoming General John Paxton. Sir.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Debbie and I are indeed honored and privileged to be with all of you on this special day. Dr. Rice, thank you for the honor and the opportunity to be here with the great faculty and the students of the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences. So thank you very, very much. If you will, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have a lot of distinguished colleagues, mentors, and friends on the stage. I'd like to point out a few of them. Dr. Karen Geis is with us, who is the Acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs. And today we're privileged also to have her predecessor, Dr. Jonathan Woodson, United States Army retired, with us. But thank you both very, very much for your leadership. And for those of you in the graduating class who will either be commissioned and wear the uniform and cloth of your nation and your branch of service today, or return to your previous grade, which some of you I know have sacrificed for the last 4 years, your surgeons general and the medical and professional leadership within your disciplines are here on the stage today. So Lieutenant General Tom Ediger, Surgeon General of the Air Force, Lieutenant General Nadia West, Surgeon General of the Army, Vice Admiral Forrest Faison from the United States Navy, and Vice Admiral Murphy. So delighted to have all of you with us. Thanks for your leadership very, very much. So ladies and gentlemen, I realize I am the only thing between walking back out in the rain, getting in a car and celebrating, or commencing what I hope will be a long, fruitful, productive military career. So I will try and keep this morning brief. If you will allow me, yeah, thanks. You can give a round of applause for that too. Thanks. If you'll allow me, I was honored, as I said, when Dr. Rice offered the opportunity to come to the commencement. But I was trying to think, now what in the world would a Marine infantryman, a grunt, say to doctors and nurses, other than, can you fix me up? Or can you take care of this great Marine? And I figured the first doesn't matter, but the second is critically important. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about the challenges ahead of you, the role you will play, and why I am here, not only on behalf of the Marine Corps, but on behalf of, as you would call them, the line, the Fleet Marine Force, the operating forces, and why the contributions of your faculty and your significant academic and medical achievements over the last 2, 3, 4 years are so important to our services, to our service members, and to our nation. So if you indeed remember that the main thing is to keep the main thing, let me tell you the terminal learning objective today, and there are only 3 of them. The first one is to congratulate all of you. Now, your family and friends and supporters and the faculty who worked long and hard to train you are here. I would appreciate if everyone here today would join me in a round of applause to congratulate today's graduates. You have accomplished what you set out to do years ago, and we have just accomplished our terminal learning objective. Now, for the graduates, you are keenly aware that despite many years of hard work, academic rigor, some sweat equity, you would not be here were it not for those sitting in front of you, behind you, or on the sides. So I would appreciate if the graduates would join me in 2 rounds of applause. The first one for those faculty members, researchers, training, support, Uniformed Services Brigade, everyone who helped you at USIS. So for them and the faculty, congratulations. Please join me in a round of applause. Thank you. If this were a military commissioning class of second lieutenants, I would now authorize you for just one brief moment to break the seated position of attention. But I will now ask all the graduates to look around in the audience, see if you can find your family, your loved one, your significant other. And I want you to join in a round of applause for all of them. All right. So for the wives, we got to keep on time now. You can't go forever. All right. So for the wives, the husbands, the mothers, the fathers, the family who are here, I know you are incredibly proud of your graduate. But on behalf of the Uniformed Services, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your support to them while they have been going through their academic program. And also, I'd like to thank you for your continued support, ask your continued support, as they wear the cloth of our nation on some critical undertakings that are absolutely essential to our defense and to our well-being. So thank you all very much. Great to be with you. Please keep up the support. Ladies and gentlemen and graduate students, I will now talk briefly about the challenges ahead of you. I was trying to think how to do this today, and fortunately the weather helped me out. And I mean that sincerely. Some of you are upset. Hey, it's my graduation and it's raining. It could be like my senior prom. It's raining. My wedding, it's raining. My significant date, it's raining. Welcome to the real world. Yesterday it was sunny. Next week it'll be beautiful. Today it's raining. All right? You have had the pleasure, the opportunity, sometimes the challenge, to work in a classroom that is on time, on schedule, well lit, warm, organized. You will go into surgical operating rooms and clinics that are sterile, that are safe, that are well stocked. For many of you, if not immediately, sometime in the near future, you will go into some place that is, as we are prone to say when we're grunts, I expect the unexpected, and I know it will be cold, it will be dark, it will be wet, and it will be chaotic. That is the environment that you will work in. That's the environment you've been trained to work in. That's the environment we expect you to work in. And that's the environment we have every confidence that you will work in and be eminently successful. You will advance medical science. You will take care of the patients at hand, the soldier, the sailor, the airman, the Marine. You will acquit yourself with honor, courage, and commitment, and you will safeguard all that is best in the United States of America. I'm here to tell you that that will not only be your challenge, but I have every confidence that you will do that, and you will do that in fine fashion. I want to give you just a few examples of why that's important. And these are folks you may not have heard of. They're not on the Hall of Heroes necessarily up there at USIS. Maybe you haven't read their bio. But I want to talk about a few things in history that are critically important and hopefully impress upon you why history matters. And I know your school historian here is behind me, and hopefully he's not grading my homework. Next door to this building is the American Red Cross. Today, in 1881, that organization was founded by Clara Barton after her noble service as a nurse on the battle lines of the Civilian War. The Civil War, not the Civilian War, the Civil War. Critically important, and I know many here today will earn their masters in nursing, and we congratulate you. I happen to have a nurse who's very near and dear to my heart and keeps me out of trouble, and staying with a nurse is a good thing. In addition to Clara Barton and the Red Cross, other significant events today, this week in history. In Anzio, in 1944, the armed forces were moving across Europe in what was going to be the greatest battle, and we hoped yet again the war to end all wars. Everybody remembers North Africa, everybody remembers Normandy, everybody remembers Iwo Jima, but you forget some of the other tragic, brutal battles of the war. But in Anzio in 1944, as the Army and the armed forces were ashore, they were setting up regimental, battalion, division aid stations. And there was one of them, not many hundred meters off the beach, that came under pretty significant attack. They were trying to take care of the patients in there as incoming fragmentation rounds were going. And Mary Roberts, an Army First Lieutenant, started moving some of the patients around, started evacuating some of the patients, but stood her ground while the bombardments were coming in. And for that Army First Lieutenant, Nurse Corps, Mary Roberts was awarded the Silver Star. A half a world away in Saipan, the Army and the Marines were in the island hopping campaigns of the South Pacific. It happened that as the Marines were working on White Beach, the 2nd Battalion of the 105th and the Army went ashore, and shortly after they were ashore, they came under heavy counterattack too. The regimental surgeon had been injured, so the regimental dentist took his place. The regimental dentist was Ben Solomon. He was a captain. Fortunately for everyone, Ben Solomon had also been trained as an infantryman before he went to dental school. And fortunately for everyone, Ben Solomon was, as are all of you, men of physical and moral courage, women of physical and moral courage, and people of rectitude. So as they were under a 3,000 to 5,000 man counterattack, Ben Solomon directed that the hospital be evac'd, all the patients moved, and he went outside and manned a machine gun. They got all of the patients out, came back, found Ben Solomon killed in the line of duty, Medal of Honor recipient, and the dental school at UCLA is named after him. So for those of you who are DDSs and practicing, your day may come. Your day may come. You may be pulling more than teeth. You may be pulling the chamber, all right? But I know you can do it. I know you can do it. So ladies and gentlemen, lest you think that's ancient history and it doesn't apply, let me tell you a few other stories very quickly, but tell them why it's important to you. I just talked about a doctor and a dentist and a nurse. I could have talked about medical health planners. I could have talked about Walter Reed, for whom the hospital is named, who as a major advised Colonel William Gorgas as we were digging a canal across the Isthmus of Panama, a canal that had failed for many years, had stymied the best efforts of two other nations, and a canal that was going to change the face of the world for trade, for human cooperation, and indeed for advancing peace and the betterment of mankind. And the only reason that canal got built was because we were able to conquer the scourge of yellow fever and mosquito-borne disease, and only because Army Colonel William Gorgas listened to Dr. Charles Finley and Major Walter Reed. So for you health planners and you health researchers and you statisticians and academicians, you are critically important, and your day will come too. Now, if those are folks who graduate from places like USIS and other distinguished medical schools around the country, you will have the privilege and the opportunity to lead men and women of the United States who wear the cloth of our nation, many of whom are out there as riflemen, machine gunners, artillery, combat engineers. But many of them have, like you, sworn to be the best in the healthcare profession. And they are corpsmen and medics and physician's assistants and independent duty corpsmen. And you will be honored and privileged to work with them, and the things they do will make your eyes water and make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. They could be like Jason Cunningham, senior airman, United States Air Force, who went into Marzac province on a QRF bird where soldiers and airmen and special operators were already wounded on the deck, and that bird crash landed. And he spent the better part of the next day moving all around the battlefield, getting people away from aircraft wreckage, saving those who have been previously wounded and injured, and repelling counterattacks himself as a senior airman, Air Force Cross recipient. It could be like Luis Fonseca, who fought in Anbar province with the Marines as a hospital apprentice. So there are two young men who are probably not old enough. In the old days, they used to be not old enough to vote. They can vote, but they're not old enough to consume alcoholic beverages. And they're putting their lives on the line for fellow service members. But they also represent all that's best in the medical profession, and they represent the skill sets and the training that they will look to you to provide. And not only the medical training and the technical training, they will look to you to provide the leadership, the moral courage, the physical courage, the rectitude, the things that they need. It could be like Lieutenant Jason Raddick, who figured out how to put a forward resuscitative surgical section on the back of a truck and then volunteered with 8th Marines to drive it right into the heart of Fallujah so that they could treat Marines and sailors and soldiers who were wounded closer to the battlefield. And it was those steps like the shock trauma platoon and the advent of quick clot and the advent of new tourniquets and the advent of exoskeletals and all those things that we could do on the battlefield that would stabilize people and gave us a 97 to 98% success rate to get our wounded off the battlefield. That's what you do. That's what you will do. That's what we expect you to do. That's what we need you to do. Many of you may go into public health service. Some of you will go into research and academia, and you may not be called upon to do that. But in one way, shape, or form, everything that all of you do will support that soldier, that sailor, that airman, that Marine on the front line who's in the heat of battle, who's in the cold, the dark, the wet, the friction, the fog, the uncertainty. And you will let him or her accomplish their mission and come back home. And not only will you allow them to do that medically and technologically, they will do that emotionally. Because the only reason they move to the sound of the gun And the only reason they go into harm's way is because they know you have their six. They know that if they get hurt, they're going to get cared for. They know they're going to get stabilized on the battlefield. They know they're going to get quickly evacuated. They know they're going to get world-class treatment at Landstuhl, at Sam Houston, at Walter Reed. That's what you provide. I am here today on behalf of the Marine Corps specifically, on behalf of the infantry specifically, but more importantly, as I said, on behalf of the line community, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, folks who are honored to wear the same uniform you will shortly wear, honored to take the same oath of office and oath of commission that you will soon take. We're honored to be on your team, and we desperately need you on our team because you will take us into the future centuries. You will keep this great nation alive. You will bring soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marine back to lead productive lives, either inside the military or out. I am extremely proud of all of you. I congratulate you on your academic and your medical accomplishments. I challenge you to continue to learn. I challenge you to continue to train. I can continue to challenge you to be the best you can be because we need you. Congratulations and Semper Fidelis.
About the hospital. Thank you, General Paxson, for your inspiring thoughts. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the university, the faculty, staff, and students, allow me to present you with this token of our thanks and appreciation for your leadership, your wisdom, your vision, and your continued strong support of our shared missions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. Pleasure. Honor to you.
It's now my pleasure to welcome and to introduce the distinguished members of the university's Board of Regents. I ask that board members stand as I call your name and that the audience hold your applause until all have been introduced. Dr. Ron Blank, the chair of the board, the Honorable Gail Walensky, Dr. Kenneth Martsugu, Dr. Michael Johns, Dr. Karen Geis, Acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Lieutenant General Nadja West, Surgeon General of the Army, Vice Admiral Forrest Faison, Surgeon General of the Navy, Lieutenant General Mark Ediger, Surgeon General of the Air Force, and Rear Admiral Jeffrey Brady, representing the Surgeon General of the United States. It's also a pleasure to welcome the Honorable Jonathan Woodson, Brigadier General, Medical Corps, United States Army Reserve. The chair of our board, Dr. Blank, has provided great service to this nation. Among his many roles, he has served as this university's first Assistant Dean of Students and as Surgeon General of the United States Army. Dr. Blank will present the Board of Regents Awards. Sir?
Thank you, Dr. Rice. The Board of Regents Award is the highest honor the university can bestow on a graduating student. Outstanding students were nominated from the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, the Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, and the Postgraduate Dental College. A description of the Board of Regents Awards can be found in your program.
At this time, Dr. Blank, Dr. Rice, and Dr. Geis will come forward to congratulate the outstanding medical and graduate students from the School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Nursing. Second Lieutenant Michael Meyer, please come forward. Mr. Ryan Johnson, please come forward. Captain Elizabeth Poindexter, please come forward. In addition, Major James Cullen of the Postgraduate Dental College received the Board of Regents Award yesterday at a ceremony held on campus.
Most of you know that this is Dr. Rice's last commencement as the president since he is retiring. So I want to first announce that he has been designated President Emeritus to take effect upon his retirement, of course, not quite yet. And I would ask all to please join me in saying thank you to Dr. Rice for all that he has done, his leadership for the Uniformed Services University.
It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Carol Romano, Dean, Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, who will announce the Graduate School of Nursing Student and Faculty Awards and present candidates for Graduate School of Nursing degrees.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by the members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because by tradition it remains secret until this moment. This award is presented by Colonel Michelle Monroe, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs.
Captain Shara Fisher, please come forward.
The following Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and genuine care and concern for each of their students. The award recipients were selected by the nursing graduates and were presented at an award ceremony held on campus earlier this week. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Uniformed Faculty Award is given to Commander Ken Wooford. Please rise and be recognized, Commander. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Civilian Faculty Award is given to Dr. Matt D'Angelo. Matt, please rise to be recognized. The Outstanding Doctoral Faculty Award is given to Dr. Penny Pierce. Dr. Pierce, please stand. President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present this candidate for the degree Master of Science in Nursing. Candidate, please rise.
By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Master of Science in Nursing with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to your new role in healthcare. Please come forward.
Colonel Michelle Monroe will read the graduates' names. There are graduates listed in your program who are not able to participate in today's ceremony.
The following graduate is receiving the degree Master of Science in Nursing as an adult gerontology perioperative clinical nurse specialist. Major Patrick Boyle.
President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice. Candidates, please rise.
By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as family nurse practitioners. Dr. Michael Allen. Dr. Heather Bangirter. Dr. Samantha Bazan. Dr. David Boyd. Dr. Lisa Buckles. Dr. Jason Crisp. Dr. Jennifer Fiance. Dr. Shara Fisher. Dr. Keith Barry Garcia. Dr. Alexander Katz. Dr. Imshin Kim. Dr. Kara Krulowitz. Dr. Brittany Lozier. Dr. Jeremy Mahoney. Dr. Baron Bryson Mullenbrock. Dr. Jeffrey Thomas Nagard. Dr. Elizabeth Poindexter. Dr. Jennifer Prosser. Dr. Ann Sheehan. Dr. Audrey Torres. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as psychiatric mental health nurse practitioners. Dr. Shanita Favors. Dr. Elizabeth Grove. Dr. Patricia Hall Stevens. Dr. Adam Keller. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as registered nurse anesthetists. This class represents the first cohort of nurse anesthetists to receive this degree. Dr. Mark Albright. Dr. Jonathan Achman. Dr. Kenneth Barber. Dr. Todd Bateau. Dr. Danielle Cuevas. Dr. Thomas Diggs. Dr. Adam Garrison. Dr. Thomas Hearing. Dr. Justin Heffley. Dr. Douglas Johnson. Dr. Lindsay Marquez. Dr. Joseph Melkai. Dr. Otis Osai. Dr. Julian Panoli. Dr. Laura Payton. Dr. Daniel Perez. Dr. Quinn Richards. Dr. Emily Rourke. Dr. Michael Todd Rucker. Dr. Douglas Savvy. Dr. Stephen Watt.
President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise.
By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing Science. Dr. Susan Galloway. Dr. Cubby Gardner. Dr. Jacqueline Killian. Dr. Laurie Migliori. Dr. Gordon West.
Thank you, Dean Romano. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gregory Mueller, Associate Dean of Graduate Education, F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine.
Good morning. The School of Medicine graduate program in Biomedical Sciences is pleased to announce the Outstanding Biomedical Graduate Educator Award. A full description of this award is in your program. The recipient of this year's award is Dr. Marjan G. Holloway. Associate Professor of the Department of Medical and Clinical Psychology. Dr. Holloway, please rise and be recognized.
Dean Mueller will present the graduates of the graduate programs in biomedical sciences. He is joined by Dr. Arthur Kellerman, Dean, School of Medicine, who will present the diplomas. There are graduates listed in your program who are not able to participate in today's ceremony.
President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for master's degrees from the USU graduate programs of the Department of Preventive Medicine and Biostatistics. Specifically, I present candidates for the Masters of Health Administration and Policy, Master of Public Health, Master of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, and Master of Science in Public Health. Will all the master's candidates please rise?
By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I confer upon you the master's degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to your new role in improving the health of the people. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Health Administration and Policy. Major J. Delbert Hansen. Lieutenant J.G. Young Yeon Kim. Lieutenant J.G. Akil Kwesi Let. Captain Christine Marie Morris. Lieutenant Jennifer Lee Nestor. Captain Joseph Travis Robinette. Lieutenant J.G. Carla Filomena Santiago. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Public Health. Left Commander Vincent Paul Beswick Escanlar. Lieutenant Commander Wesley David Boos. Captain Andy Chern. Major Paula Kim Huang. Major Leslie Nicole Lovett. Major Chelsea Bianca Payne. Captain Elliot Ramos Rivera. Major Laura Ellen Riddle. Captain Andrew J. Schrader. Captain Stephanie Sayers Smith. Major Jason Allen Sorrell. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. Lieutenant Commander Wesley Ray Campbell. Major Rebecca J. Sinato. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Science in Public Health. Lieutenant Macon Alexander Buchanan. Captain Nicole Marie Cintron. Captain Amanda Alicia Klein. Captain Daniel Joseph Harrison. Captain Matthew J. Holuta. Major Catherine Michelle Kinder. Captain Tony Hubert Sebastian Moray. Lieutenant Jefferson Milvar Moody. Captain Andrei Vladimirovich Sepelev. President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidate for the degree Doctor of Public Health. Candidate, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Public Health with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduate is receiving the degree Doctor of Public Health, Dr. Cesar Vladimir Monaico Escate. President Rice, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise.
By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Sasha Ellen Marie Larson Akins. Dr. Fiona Patricia Rabazan. Dr. Edney Joseph Bryant. Dr. Angela Teresa Caranci. Dr. Brendan James Finton. Dr. Ryan Chandler Johnson. Dr. Nicole Shinyong Kang. Dr. Swagata Kar Dutta. Dr. Rachel Carly Lazarus. Dr. Robin Heather Miller. Dr. Matthew Joseph Musi. Dr. Angela Marie Pronger. Dr. Jeffrey Richard Stinson. Dr. Victor Arif Sugiharto. Dr. Marcus R. Van Sickle. Dr. Leah Rebecca Vincent. And Dr. Andrea Francis Weiss.
Thank you, Dean Mueller. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Dean Arthur Kellerman will introduce the School of Medicine Students and Faculty Awards and present the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree. Descriptions of the awards are in your program. The Esprit de Corps Award, developed in 1986 by then Second Lieutenant Thomas Travis. The recipient is selected annually by members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because, by tradition, it remains secret until this moment. This award is presented by Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Moores, Associate Dean for Student Affairs.
Will Second Lieutenant Ben Behringer please come forward?
The following School of Medicine faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and deep care and concern for their students. These awards were presented at the awards ceremony held on campus earlier this week. The Carol J. Johns Medal is the highest honor the faculty can bestow on a colleague. The 2016 Carol J. Johns Medal was awarded to Dr. Stephen Durning, Professor, Department of Medicine. Dr. Durning, please rise to be recognized. The medical graduates have selected the recipient of the Outstanding Uniform Faculty William P. Clements Jr. Award. Commander Adam Saperstein, Associate Professor, Department of Family Medicine. Commander Saperstein, please rise to be recognized. The medical graduates have selected the recipient of the Outstanding Civilian Educator Award, Dr. Mark Hagney, Professor, Department of Medicine. Dr. Hagney, please rise to be recognized. President Rice, on behalf of the faculty, I present these candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine. Candidates, please rise. By the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, on the recommendation of the faculty, and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medicine, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this ancient and honorable profession.
Ladies and gentlemen, the oath of Hippocrates will be administered by the Associate Dean for Student Affairs, Colonel Lisa Moores.
I now invite all physicians present, on stage and in the audience, to join the medical school graduates in reciting the Hippocratic Oath. Members of the class of 2016, you swore the oath of Hippocrates as you entered this medical school. It has guided your conduct as students of medicine. So please raise your right hand and swear it again, so it may guide your practice as physicians. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever home I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and the well, to the utmost of my power, and that I will hold myself aloof from wrong, and from corruption and from tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operation for a criminal purpose, nor suggest such thing. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of any person which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep secret. These I do promise. And in proportion as I am faithful to this oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. Please be seated. The graduating class has selected Dr. Edward Mitri to read their names for this ceremony. Will the candidates please come forward?
Dr. Brian Tullis Andrew. Dr. Rebecca Arnold. Dr. Grace Bake. Dr. Evan Morris Baines. Dr. Matthew Foster Baker. Dr. Benjamin Joseph Behringer. Dr. Anthony Jerome Becker. Dr. Nicole Jean Beam. Dr. Samuel Wallace Bergen. Dr. Ethan Menasha Bernstein. Dr. Kenneth John Bogenberger. Dr. Jeremy Bolin. Dr. Dakota Breisch. Dr. Karen Joyce Brockman. Dr. Ryan Brady Bucknam. Dr. Gurdeep Singh Buttar. Our next graduate is the recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimbo Valedictorian Award given annually to class valedictorians. Dr. Caitlin Ray Campbell. Dr. Ross Canup. Dr. Evan Neil Caporeso. Dr. Amanda Leong Case. Dr. Sarah Elizabeth Chapman. Dr. Louis K.H. Chen. Dr. Eric Woo-Young Chun. Dr. Jacob Henry Cole. Dr. Patrick Joseph Coleman. Dr. Martin Anand Collier. Dr. James Reed Cooper. Dr. Mitchell Frederick Cordis. Dr. Jesse Maxwell Crawford. Dr. Angela Marie Carell. Dr. Thomas Conyer Deasy. Dr. Emily Rose Deloria. Dr. Zechariah Tanner Dillingham. Dr. Rebecca Dillon. Dr. James Darrell Dismang. Dr. Fong Nok Do. Dr. Camille Amedi Egbroten. Dr. Catherine Marie Eliason. Dr. Kathleen Frances Elsinore. Dr. Davis L. Erickson. Dr. Allison Angeline Eubanks. Dr. Ardalan Matthew Farhat Sabet. Dr. Dane Andrew Fisher. Dr. Alan Fong. Dr. Stephanie Tuttle Fullaborn. Dr. Chelsea Lee Garner. Dr. Andrew Stefan Geiger. Dr. Teresa Marie Gilbride. Dr. Michael Thomas Godar. Dr. Adam Robert Graber. Dr. Mary Ford Graber. Dr. Anthony Joseph Greco. Dr. Chrysanthi Ha. Dr. Stephen Hahn. Dr. Caitlin Haltener. Dr. Daniel Craig Hart. Dr. Andrew House. Dr. Tyson Hockley. Dr. Chelsea Hayes. Dr. Zachary G. Heath. Dr. Ashley M. Henry. Dr. Arek Hidersha. Dr. Hakeem Faleh Hindi. Dr. Linda Hong. Dr. Perry Caitlin Hopkins. Dr. Edward Joseph Houston. Dr. Benjamin Hoyt. Dr. John Stewart Hunt, Jr. Dr. Timothy Hunter. Dr. James Daniel Jones. Dr. Katrina Terrica Jones. Dr. Chimera Amanda Joseph. Dr. Grant Justin. Dr. Charles Jun-hyuk Kang. Dr. Erica Ying Cao. Dr. Kevin Edward Carney. Dr. Colin Kenneth Kelly. Dr. Ian Patrick Kelly. Dr. Alexander Kim. Dr. Andrew Myungjin Kim. Dr. Youngmi Faith Kim. Dr. William King Lewis. Dr. Thomas Wolfgang Klotz. Dr. Catherine Kraus. Dr. Joshua Krieger. Dr. Louis Nathaniel Lockman. Dr. Daniel Taylor Lammers. Dr. Kelly Jean Laurent. Dr. Gregory Edward Laze. Dr. Clara Gisuk Lee. Dr. Howard Durha Lee. Dr. Billy Joe Liane. Our next graduate is the recipient of the AMSIS Award, given annually to the student who demonstrates exceptional leadership and academic excellence, Dr. David Lin. Dr. Brianna Lindberg. Dr. Todd L. Looney. Dr. Nora Maddie. Dr. Wyatt Malloy. Dr. Omojo Odihi Malu. Dr. Joseph Allen Mansfield. Dr. Taylor Mansfield. Dr. Alexander John Merritt. Dr. Sarah Jean Matthews. Dr. Corey McFadden. Dr. Charles Dubois Meyer. Our next graduate is also a recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, and he also received the Board of Regents Award, Dr. Michael Meyer. Dr. Hannah Morehouse. Dr. Travis Yoshida Morioka. Dr. Eddie Nance. Dr. Ramon Neely. Our next graduate is also a recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimbo Valedictorian Award and the recipient of the United States Air Force Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Alexander Nissen. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is her sister, Dr. Joyce Noveras Hall, a graduate of the USIS class of 2012. Dr. Janet Noveras. Dr. James O'Neill. Dr. Corey Ryan O'Reilly. Dr. Sun Mi Paik. Dr. Alexandra Mary Papp. Dr. Dale Anthony Parsons. Dr. Paul Patterson. Dr. Michael Pavio. Dr. Cassandra Tasha Pellegrini. Dr. Nien Tan Pho. Dr. Ian Alexander Prudhomme. Dr. Vinita Puri. Dr. Emily Lorraine Raitt. Our next graduate is also a recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimbo Valedictorian Award given annually to the class valedictorian, Dr. Donovan Stephen Reed. Dr. David Lee Riegelman. Dr. Hayden John Roberts. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is her mother, Dr. Irene Rosen, a graduate of the USIS class of 1999. Dr. Stephanie Elizabeth Rosen. Dr. Jessica Kathleen Rouse. Dr. Keith Roxo. Dr. Stephanie Marie Saint Laurent. Dr. John Reynante Surrett. Dr. Brian Charles Schecksnyder. Dr. Gerald Davis Schmidt III. Dr. Jonathan Carlos Schroeder. Dr. Susan Phoebe Schultz. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Army Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Alexandra Ashraf Shams. Dr. Jane Elizabeth Shelley. Dr. Anat Shukla. Dr. Nicholas Edward Singh Miller. Dr. Megan Caroline Sledge. Dr. Alicia Marie Smith. Dr. Benjamin Russell Smith. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Public Health Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Colin Michael Smith. Dr. Jeffrey Spiro. Dr. Jason Carl Stickle. Dr. Kimberly Diane Stickler. Dr. Eric Francis Sulava. Dr. Nicholas Scott Suflita. Dr. Dawood Arbab Tafti. Dr. Alexis Rose Taylor. Dr. Solomon Tong. Dr. Aaron Samuel Vaslow. Dr. Brian Harris Vaught. Dr. Christian Thomas Verneau. Dr. Jacqueline Kate Wade. Dr. Matthew Lewis Ward. Dr. Wells L. Weymouth. Dr. Sean Lowell Wilkes. Dr. David Lee Williams. Dr. Sarah Merkel Wilson. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Naval Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Peter Wisniewski. Dr. Aaron Sejong Wolfgang. Dr. Sarah Souder Woodside. Dr. Richard Wu. Dr. Angela Za. Dr. Daniel Zhang.
As the last graduate left this stage, the Uniformed Services University F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine has graduated 5,536 medical officers to join the ranks of the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, and Public Health Service medical departments. Additionally, the School of Medicine has conferred 469 Doctor of Philosophy degrees, 43 of which are degrees in clinical psychology, 30 Doctor of Public Health degrees, 1,038 master's degrees, including 167 Master of Science, 62 Master of Science in Public Health, 48 Master of Health Administration and Policy, 757 Master of Public Health, 55 Master of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, 5 Master of Military Medical History, and 3 Master of Comparative Medicine. The Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing has conferred 702 Master of Science in Nursing degrees, 65 Doctor of Nursing Practice degrees, 33 Doctor of Philosophy and Nursing Science degrees, and 25 Postmaster of Science certificates. The Postgraduate Dental College has conferred 183 Master of Science in Oral Biology. The President's Own, the United States Marine Band, will now play each of the service songs in the form of a service medley. According to university custom and as an expression of camaraderie, it is appropriate with our uniformed colleagues deployed in harm's way around the globe for all persons to stand as you are able for the duration of the service medley. Please stand together until the band has completed the medley. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to officially thank the President's Own, the United States Marine Band, for their musical tribute and their presence here today for our ceremony. Please be seated while you thank the band.
Ladies and gentlemen, having now received their doctoral degrees, these 166 members of the School of Medicine class of 2016 have turned in their academic robes and now wear their uniforms to take their oaths as commissioned officers in their respective services. The Surgeons General or their representative will commission the graduates in their branch of service. It's my pleasure to invite Lieutenant General Nadja West, Surgeon General of the United States Army, to confer the oath of office to the United States Army medical graduates. Ma'am.
All right, United States Army medical graduates, please stand. I ask you now to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
It's my pleasure to welcome Vice Admiral Forrest Faison, USU class of 1984, Surgeon General of the Navy, who will administer the oath to our Navy medical graduates. Admiral Faison.
Thank you. Navy graduates, would you please stand? Shipmates, 32 years ago, I stood where you now stand and took the oath you're about to take. And daily, I am reminded of its significance. As physicians, we will place in your hands the lives and well-being of your patients. As officers, we will place in your hands the lives and well-being of our shipmates, the members of our team. And they and their families are hoping, praying, and depending on you to do all in your power to watch over them, care for them, and one day return them home to their loved ones. It is a sacred trust and one that must be earned every day. And so now I ask you to please raise your right hand and honor that trust by repeating after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will continue to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution and the country whose course it directs, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office about which I am about to enter. So help me God. Shipmates, welcome to the profession of caring for others. Welcome to Navy medicine.
Lieutenant General Mark Ettinger, Surgeon General of the United States Air Force, will administer the oath to the Air Force medical graduates. General Ettinger.
United States Air Force medical graduates, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Welcome, Airmen.
It's now my pleasure to welcome Rear Admiral Jeffrey Brady, USU MPH class of 1999, representing the Surgeon General of the United States, who will administer the oath of office to our Public Health Service graduates. Admiral Brady.
Good morning. On behalf of the Surgeon General of the United States, Vice Admiral Vivek Murthy, it is a privilege to be with you today to recognize the significant accomplishments of the class of 2016, which includes the United States Public Health Service's newest medical officers. Lieutenant Puri, Lieutenant Smith, and Lieutenant Wu, please stand. So today you join the ranks of more than 6,500 officers in the Commissioned Corps of the United States Public Health Service, and it is an honor to be a part of this important career milestone for you. So I studied epidemiology at the university, and you don't need that degree to know that there are just 3 of you in the audience today. But I want you to know that your small number is completely out of proportion to the tremendous impact that you can have. Your work has the potential to improve the lives of millions of people. We know how to do this in the Public Health Service, and throughout our history, we have done it again and again. So our colleagues in the armed services also claim many successes in public health and preventive medicine, and I mention this for 2 reasons. One is that it's true, and 2 is that the 4 of us may run into some of your colleagues in the parking lot after the ceremony, and we don't want to get into a disagreement about comparisons of our services. But our collaborations with our fellow armed services have been very productive, and again, it's a pleasure to be here. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Thank you, General West, Admiral Faison, General Ettinger, and Admiral Brady for your participation in today's ceremony. I also thank the families and friends of our graduates for the love and support you have provided. Graduates, please join me in expressing appreciation to your families and friends. Graduates, please also join me in expressing appreciation to our extraordinary faculty and staff for their many contributions to your education. Now I invite Dr. Leon Moores, Colonel, Medical Corps, United States Army, retired, USU class of 1990, and President of the University Alumni Association to the stage to welcome our graduates to the association. Colonel Moores.
Well, on behalf of the now over 8,000 alumni of this fine institution, it gives me great pleasure to be the first one to officially say, congratulations, alumni. It does usually take a fraction of a second for that to sink in, but then everybody catches on and says, oh, that's me now. It's awesome. So alumni can provide some value to a university. And for you today, one of the values that I think alumni can provide is to give advice, lessons, serve as sort of the cornerstone of the old adage, learn from other people's mistakes because life's too short to make them all yourself. Since I've made quite a few in the 26 years since I sat where you're sitting, I'll share some with you. And I've been told I have to keep it to under 45 minutes. But rather than that, since you will trample me on the way to your well-deserved celebrations, I'll distill it down to 3 lessons. 26 years, 3 lessons, 90 seconds. Go. Lesson number 1, love what you do. You've worked too hard and put in too much time to settle. Don't pick a career path because you think it's the right thing to do. Pick something you love. Because if you do, there's this virtuous spiral that ensues. You like what you do, so you work harder at it because it doesn't really feel like work. So you do a good job, you get great feedback, which means you like it more. And then you work harder, you get better at it, you get more feedback, you like it more, etc., etc. Find that thing. Number 2, know your limits and have the integrity to practice within them. There are few things more dangerous than someone in healthcare who doesn't admit what they don't know. We all have lots to learn, and you will protect patients around the globe if you're willing to say, I don't know, I need to look that up. And number 3, finally, love your patients. Whether you're in policy or public health, at the bedside or the bench, there's a person at the end of what you do. And she's not a statistic on a spreadsheet. She's not a specimen in the lab. And she's not the tumor in room 316. She's Daphne. She's 9 years old. She has 2 sisters and parents that love her. And she's terrified. If you keep that emotional bond to what you do, your career will be enriched, and you will practice with a humanism that will reward you forever. There will be moments when you will have indescribable elation, and there will be moments of dark despair, but staying emotionally connected has immense rewards. So that's it. 3 lessons, 30 seconds. Congratulations, 90 seconds, 30 seconds each. I'm a surgeon, I don't do math. That's what the anesthesiologists are for. And thank you, anesthesiologists. Congratulations. Good luck. Learn lots, save lives, stamp out disease. Welcome to the club.
Thank you, Colonel Morse. Ladies and gentlemen, as our program draws to an end, we wish to express our gratitude to the military personnel and the university civilian staff members who have contributed so much to orchestrate this memorable graduation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction. And we ask that you remain standing until the recession is complete.
Receive now the benediction. Go forth, confident in the knowledge and skills you have acquired. Go forth with wisdom and compassion as healers, comforters, and explorers. Go forth, inspired to find new cures and to lead and improve the health sciences. And may your hands always bring healing and blessing to those they touch. Amen.
This concludes the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences Commencement Ceremony for 2016. Sergeant at Arms, retrieve the mace. President Rice, please lead the academic recessional.